You know what I am, Colby?
What are you, Barry?
I'm like Frankenstein, and you're like my bad bitch. You're Frankenstein's bad bitch. What's going on, guys? My name is Barry.
This is Colby.
And this is Who Watches This. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the third week of Bully Month. Oh, what is it?
Bustin' Bullies?
Bustin' Bullies Month. I gotta say, sounds a little bit like a porno.
Oh, yeah.
So bad. That's like, I was like, oh, that sounds like a Bustin' Bullies Balls Month.
Right, you did. Don't put that into Google.
Yeah. There's a parody of everything, right? But Colby, great pick for the month. So let me just go ahead and do our first segment, so we can kind of like get into it without spoiling something by accident.
Right, yeah.
When a video of Drea gets leaked, her whole curated persona gets demolished. But with the help of her new friend Eleanor, she finds light in this dark tunnel. Will she be able to get her get back? Let's see these two try in 2022's Do Revenge.
Nice.
I gotta say, I'm with Eleanor in the title of this movie, Do Revenge. But yeah, we're gonna be talking about the Camila Mendes and Maya Hawke led 2022 Netflix original movie, Do Revenge, which is, I believe, is based on a book. I think so.
It's written and directed by Jennifer Caitlin Robinson, who was the co-writer of Thor: Love and Thunder. I don't know if that's a positive or a negative.
It depends, it's like there's the house of people that are like you, that are like, well, it's told from the perspective of, what was his name, Korg. So like that's what makes it like, how it is. And then there's the other house where it's like, just give me more Ragnarok.
Yeah, it's an unusual take by Taika Waititi.
Taika Waititi. I think Tico was a character from Breaking Bad. Tight. Yeah, well, like Ragnarok was done by him as well, wasn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, I think, like with Ragnarok, he found it was like a really good balance of like the seriousness of Thor and then introducing the comedy into it. And
Right.
Then Love and Thunder was just all comedy.
Yes, yeah. Which that was the big complaint, was you've got such a dark villain in a comedy, and so then it was like,
yeah,
two genres that didn't meld as well together as.
Well, yeah, because the Gore the God Killer run was like really well received.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Christian Bale wanted his Heath Ledger performance.
Yeah.
But let's get back to this movie, Do Revenge. I remember watching this trailer. It's actually the first. Like, I meant to watch it when it first got released.
I didn't realize it was as old as it was. I kind of assumed that this came off of like current Stranger Thing fame.
No,
Maya Hawke.
Well, I mean, like Maya Hawke did Fear Street, so that came out like in like 2021, maybe around that time. But yeah, like I remember seeing the trailer for this, and I was like, oh, it's pretty reminiscent of like, it's a very 80s, 90s teen plot.
Yes, yeah.
And then just modernized. So I thought that was great. And then plus, like, I Like Maya Hawke, she's probably like one of my more favorite Nepo babies. And Camila Mendez, obviously coming off of like Riverdale,
Right? Yep.
which I don't know if that was a good thing or bad thing for her.
I don't know. I kind of enjoyed that show.
Well, yeah, like it's funny though because like whenever you think about Riverdale, like when like people who didn't read the Archie comic stuff
Mm.
watched Riverdale, they're like, "Wow, this really took a turn." And then like, but for the people that read the Archie comics, they're like, "It's par for the course."
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Yeah, because I think there's this guy on like YouTube that does like the first episode and the last episode of a series.
Mm.
And they're like, okay, so like, wow, they all have powers now. Like, one dude can go back in time. One's like a werewolf or something. I don't know. I think I stopped watching it after a while. Oh, but like, yeah, what made you choose this movie, Kobe?
I had never seen it before. It seemed to fit the theme of what we were doing, and I like Mean Girls and stuff like that. And so I like thought, yeah, I was like, okay, yeah, kind of like a relaunch of Mean Girls, Cruel Intentions, like those kind of.
Yeah, Kobe, go ahead and age yourself a little bit more. John Hughes. Let's just be honest. John Hughes kind of was a very formidable director, or not for a very influential director to Kobe's youth.
It is true, yeah.
And like other things like Heathers and stuff like that.
Oh, definitely Heather's, yeah.
Oh man, but yeah, let's go ahead and get into this movie. It starts off with like I believe a party is going on, and we get really quickly introduced to all the major players. We have Drea, who's played by Camila Mendez, who's our main character. We get introduced. There's actually like one girl, the Asian girl, in the beginning of the movie, where she's actually from Smosh, the YouTube channel Smosh,
Mm.
and she's like, "Oh my god, everybody loves Drea, and like everybody wants to be here, but like whatever." And like I kind of liked how they kind of sidestep one trope, right? Because Drea's already known as the scholarship student,
Right.
so we get to sidestep like, oh, I'm faking being rich to fit in. But like, yeah, like this girl's like, oh, like why are we acting like Drea paid for this party Tara did, and why does she get to be 100 most influential on Teen Vogue? Classic hater things. I've done this at least once in my life where you just hate on somebody's success.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like
Yeah.
jealous. Kobe probably did it when he was a swimmer. He was like, well, of course he could swim.
Right. Yeah. He's 6'6". Of course
Of course
could
he's
swim.
better than me.
And nobody was better than me. I let some people win so they feel better about themselves.
They needed it. They needed that win, so I gave it to them. And like, but like Drea is very, like when you're not poor, because she's not poor at all.
Right.
She's like when you're just like in a lower tax bracket than the rest of your peers.
So it's weird. Like they kind of they don't really explain it, but they kind of like mention it. It's like these are the scholarship kids versus the kids whose parents could pay for them to go to school.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like there's a difference. Like I could go here anyway because my dad's rich.
Yeah.
You could only go here because you studied really hard.
Exactly.
You wouldn't have made it.
Well, like no, like I believe she's like one of the only few scholarship students there though, because usually like private schools like that they have a very limited open slot
Right.
for
Yeah.
stuff like that, and so yeah, like I feel like she is surrounded by a bunch of trust fund babies. And so when you're kind of growing up in that kind of environment and you need to fit in to, make connections, network, kind of have to play the long game, you're a lot more calculating.
Yeah.
And so when one of the girls comes up to Drea and he's like, hey, Allegra, which is a, people name their kids weird stuff. That's an allergy drug, I believe. Is like, oh yeah, the Instagram witch is talking about how you got your dress at the Goodwill because you're poor. And like her friends seem pretty down. They're like, one of the girls is like, do you want me to push her in the pool? Do you want me to set her hair on fire?
Why is it always violence? Why do you always kind of want to set people's hair on fire?
It's because they could afford the lawyer fees. But no, like, like Drea's like, no, you know what? I think it's actually time for me to make my toast. So she gets up there, she gets everybody's attention. She like thanks Tara for hosting the party, and she also was like, "Where's Allegra? Oh, hey Allegra, she was talking about how my dress is from the Goodwill or the Army of Salvation." And she was like, "You know what? I feel like I should donate my whole wardrobe there just to give back."
Yep.
And like you can tell, like she's like a pretty decent, like she's a pretty good mean girl, because when she introduces Allegra, she's like, "Your hat, it's so big." Tone really matters, people.
Yeah.
Kind of puts her in her place, and then we get introduced to her boyfriend Max, who is, oh god, he's like he was in that new movie last year, Weapons. I was like,
Yes.
that guy looks so familiar, and I was like, oh, he's the dude from Weapons. Okay. But kind of like a much shorter stature, very Napoleon Bonaparte kind of personality.
Right. Yep.
And he is the king of this school. He sets up this like firework display, and it's just like, oh yes, the king and queen of this high school is here. And so later, like after they leave the party, they're in his, I don't know, Humvee, whatever, fucking big car, Range Rover, Land Rover, something that rovers the lands.
In H2, something,
Yeah, and they're like making out, and it's about to be summer, and he's talking to Drea, and he's like, what am I gonna do without you, babe? Well, I'm gonna be so lonely, so like maybe you make me a video or something. And Drea's like, you really want one? He's like, yeah, that would get me through these harsh summer nights.
Couldn't I be so alone because I love
you. Yeah. Yeah, classic high school manipulation technique.
Yep.
It's bad. I never put that in my bag. I was like, well, I don't want to tell somebody I love them if I don't mean it.
Right. Yeah. That's special. The L word.
Yeah. And she gets home. She like kisses like their little picture together. And if you're gonna make videos for people, you gotta kind of just headless body it. Right. No discerning tattoos or anything like that. No face. No verbally spoken words. I mean, you can moan. Because you could be like, well, you could fight that, right? You could fight that, right? Because so she makes the video, full face. I'm like, oh my god, rookie mistake. Never put your face in it. For guys, when they said nudes, it's always just like hand and dick.
Right. Yeah, you can't tell.
That could be anybody's dick.
Right. Yep.
But like the next morning, she goes to school. Everyone is looking at her. Andrea's like talking to her best friend Tara, and she's like, what's going on? And like everyone's looking at me, and then all of a sudden these phones ring. Someone's like, hey Drea, nice video. And then Tara pulls it up, and she's like moaning Max's name, and I was like, oh no. First of all, this is like distribution of child.
Right. Yeah. This is felony.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody in this school that has it on their phone should be put to jail. Or, I mean, they're rich, so pay a fine to a charity. But she comes up to Max, and she's like, you're a fucking asshole. And he's like, baby, I got my lawyer on the phone. We're going to get this taken care of. But she decks him.
Right.
She's like, you spread that shit. I decked. And next thing you know, she's in the principal's office, who's played by Sarah Michelle Gellar. Buffy, one of the...
Also Cruel Intentions.
Yeah, Cruel. but like, original Mean Girl, like
Yep.
one of the 90s Mean Girls, because Buffy at the beginning, like the very first season, she was pretty horrible, like not a great person. She had to learn to be Buffy, so but very a very strong presence in this school. You have to be if you're dealing with a lot of rich people. And
Yep.
she's looking at Dre and she's like, "Hey, I have so much faith in you, and even though you're not wrong for your reaction, you're wrong for how you handled it."
Right.
Which, it's kind of like she's not trying to be elitist, but she's like trying to very carefully say, like, your place is right here.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you can't punch up. You can punch laterally, you know, you can punch horizontally, but you can't punch up because they just, it's a very like cruel lesson, but it's just like some people could just crush you
Right. Yeah.
without even trying. So like, so she's like, you don't want to jeopardize your ability to get into Yale. And I tried I had to fight very hard to keep you in this school. So we're gonna figure it out next year. And so like but now at this point her friends are like, hey, Max is like family, so we kind of have to cool off for the summer, hanging out with you.
Right. Yeah. Max's dad's my dad's biggest client. We can't, make waves.
Mm-hmm. And Max is the king of the school, so
Right.
Sorry. And so now Drea's kind of just like, what? Like she's just like, she has to work for the summer. So she's working at a tennis camp. And this is where we get introduced to Eleanor as she's like a very Kill Bill 3 scene where she's driving and it almost looks like it's just like a screen behind her. But like very grungy looking Eleanor, she's like, oh, that girl can fix her car. A little bit of a
Right.
tomboy. Maya Hogg, she's like very lanky. So she kind of gives off like, she really plays off this role well. Because she could do both. She could do feminine, she could do androgynous, sort of like tomboyish charm to her. And so like, yeah, she's going to the freaking tennis camp, and then this is where she overhears what Sophie Turner from Game of Thrones talking about Drea and how she has a sex tape out.
Yeah.
And so Eleanor's trying to approach Drea. She's like, oh, maybe she's just like me, or we're both kind of outcasts and all that stuff. But Drea is a very hard personality. She's like, hey, I don't need your pity. So like, don't try to be friends with me to feel bad for me. But like Eleanor is like, hey, I just want to let you know it's that girl that's like spreading your sex tape around. So maybe you want to do something about that. And so she does. She plants cocaine on her. And we get like probably like a really good freak out scene because she's getting kicked out of tennis camp. And like now this is gonna be bad on her because she's also a high school student and she might be losing some acceptance letters and all that stuff, and she's yelling at people like, I don't do cocaine.
Right. And now they're taking her to rehab also.
Yeah, her parents, like rich parents are like, we got to nip this drug problem in the bud ASAP. And like her friend is also like, she doesn't even know what it looks like. And so like at the end of tennis camp, this movie moves very fast throughout the season. So, but at the end of tennis camp, she's trying to leave in her teal 2004 Mitsubishi Eclipse. And it's not starting. And then Eleanor is like, hey, do you need my pity now? And so, like, yeah, like, she's taking her home. And Eleanor is kind of, like, just going through her history. And she's like, back when I was younger, some girl, like, made me out to be some fucking lesbian predator. Because I told her, like, I came out.
Right. It was somebody who I felt very comfortable with, and I let her know, and then she spread this rumor that I was very aggressive with her and made me seem like a predator, and yeah.
Which like it's hard. It doesn't matter what fucking tax bracket you are, it's still hard to come out.
Right. Yeah.
And so yeah, so she was like, yeah, I just been kind of by myself, not really trusting people, but like, I kind of want to fix that. And so like, she gets, familiar with Drea, but then school starts and like all the everyone's like, "Oh my god, Drea's actually back. Oh my gosh."
Right. Yeah. Most of them were surprised that she didn't just
Transfer.
go back to public school.
Yeah, or something. I mean, at public school at least she can punch people. Unfortunately, like they've probably seen it in public school as well. So she's like, "Well, I got to finish out strong here.
Yeah.
This is my best chance to get into Yale." So like, she even approaches her old friends and they're like, "Oh, hey, Drea." Hi. And like the enthusiasm that you had seen at the beginning of the movie is no longer there.
Right. Right.
And
They're
now,
like, oh, we
yeah,
miss you and we want to be your friend, but we're all still kind of Team Max.
yeah. And now her old best friend Tara is now dating Max.
Yeah.
So like, and like Eleanor comes, she gets her introduction is with Gabby, this
Yeah.
very like, she's rich the way she's strutting around this school. But like, it's like I'm rich, but like not like pretentious rich. I'm like, oh, woe is me with all this money that I have. And like, they walk throughout the school, and like this is like, she does tell Drea on the ride back that like the person who had exposed her was like Cassie Jones, who we get introduced to as the head of the farming agriculture club.
Yep. Yeah.
And there's like a lot of tension there. This girl actually looks like a young Keira Knightley.
She does,
Yeah,
yes.
I was like,
I could go with that.
Yeah. And so like, the day's kind of like weird. They have this assembly. Eleanor's like, is there like assigned seating or do I just sit wherever? All right, fuck me then.
You're right. It just gets ignored.
Yeah. But no, we learned that Max is the student body president. And he's like, he's really laying it on thick. He's like, really, some really bad things happened at the end of the last year. I hope we can all put that behind us. And I just want to publicly apologize to Drea for everything that's happened to her, which actually helped me form this new club. It is the Cis Hetero Club for Feminism. And God, everybody is like rolling their everybody's so in love with this except for Drea and Eleanor, who are rolling their eyes.
Right, yeah.
Right out of
and everybody is like, "Oh my god, he's such an advocate."
It's so it's so fucking performative feminism, right? It's like, look at me, I'm a man, but I stand with my women. And so like Drea's like in this little fucking hangout spot in the bathroom, which like I never really understood why people hang out in the bathroom, because that's where poop is. It's like it's where doo-doo particles are in the air, And Eleanor's like,
I guess it's quiet usually, and like a teacher's not going to come in there and bother you for like just hanging out because I don't know.
If you want to go somewhere that's quiet and people won't bother you, it's the library. It's called the library.
It's true.
And there's no poop particles in the air. But Eleanor,
it's a private school, like the bathroom smell good.
But like Eleanor comes in and she's like, "Oh my god, that's so crazy! Like that's so disgusting. I could see, like, what did you ever see in that guy?" And they're like, kind of just like talking to each other. And then Eleanor proposes, like, "I wish there was just like some person that you could just hire to ruin somebody's life." And now like Drea, she has her like, what is it, strangers on a train moment.
Yeah.
Where she's like, okay, I get it. How about this? We do revenge for each other. And Eleanor's like, I don't think that's right. Like the correct grammar, like do revenge. But she's like, no. I'll get revenge on Carissa Jones for you. And then you infiltrate my old group of friends and you get dirt on Max and then I will expose him.
Yeah.
And she's like, how am I even going to do that? And Drea's like, you have the one thing that's going to go for you right now. And it's the mystery.
Yeah.
The mystery of being the new student on your senior year. And so, like, she's like, all right, we have to go change everything about you.
Makeover time.
Which is, like, you know, a very, like, cliche montage thing.
That's a very 90s. Yeah, always a makeover.
But, like, Maya Hawke's character is like, do I have to change myself? Can't I just be mysterious on my own? She's like, yeah, no. And they go through it. You know, she gets a shorter haircut. She gets, like, some new wardrobe. And she's like, this is what you're going to do. You're just going to walk past Max and his friend Isaiah and look a little slutty. Like, slutty enough to be like, wow, she's hot. But not like, oh, she's a night walker.
Right. She's hot, but not easy.
Yeah, you know, very, like, mysterious, you know, like, vampire-esque type of, like, mood, right? And Max sees her, he's like, oh, who's that girl? She's new. Because, you know, Max, that dude's a horn dog. He's like,
totally.
He knows every girl there that he wants to sleep with. And so he's like, kind of like, you know, very, like, slowly trying to subtly introduce himself. And she's like on this, like, little nook somewhere in this school that just has nooks all over the place. And he's like trying to talk to her.
Yeah. Private school, yeah. There's so many nooks.
There's many nooks in private schools. And he's trying to talk to her, and she's like, cool. And then puts her headphones back on, and he's like, yeah, a little bit of a, oh, she's hard to get.
Yeah.
Situation going on. And so, like, later,
right, because he's also like, he's the hot guy, the hot rich guy. Yeah. So, like, all the girls that are at that school want him. So having a girl that's like, you're interesting, but not that interesting, is like, whoa, why doesn't she want me?
Why isn't she throwing herself at me? This is so new to me. And so, like, later she catches him in the library, and he's like, hey, you know, we're gonna actually have a party here, so, like, you should head by, you know? And, like, writes his number. Like, her phone isn't right there to just type his number in. And Drea's on the second floor, and they're, like, dancing. Like, yeah, we're in.
But again, that's a very 80s thing. The whole, let me write my number on the palm of your hand.
Exactly. And meanwhile, fucking Drea's like, oh, infiltrating the agriculture club. We get introduced to Ross, who's like this British Indian guy.
I was gonna say Australian, but could be. Yeah,
I think he's
got
British.
An accent.
Yeah, and, like, you know, but he has, like, the neon blue hair because he's like, hey, I'm rich, but, like, I don't want to be crushed under the pretenses of my rich parents. But he's, like, trying to talk to, like, at first she talks to Carissa, and she's like, talk to Ross. He's the one that handles all the volunteers. I don't really have time for you.
Right. Yeah.
And, like, she introduces herself, and she's like, you don't know who I am? We've been in the same circle for, like, 5 years. She's like, yeah, sure. I 100% get it. And so, like, her and Ross are talking. She sees Carissa going into the shed, and she's like, what's in there? And she's like, oh, that's her secret project. You know, she's going to be doing the food for, like, whatever, like, the ring ceremony later in the fall. And she's like, oh, I need to find out what's in there.
Right. Because nobody has a locked greenhouse on school property.
Right? Exactly. And so, like, now, what's it called? Eleanor has to get ready for, like, this pool party. And Drea's like, well, we have to make you hot, bitch. You know? Show enough that it's sexy, but not too much that it's slutty, you know? Even though, you know, it's like Miami, they probably would just be, like, in thongs and shit like that. And, like, she kind of goes in very, like, 70s pool wear chic?
It is, yeah.
Yeah,
it's like the high rise waist, and
yeah, you know, and then, like, the shawl, I think that's what it's called, the little flowy coat, so pool coat. I don't know what it is.
It's like a I've got a body, but I'm not showing it off kind of
Exactly.
mystery. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, while she's there, she's she gets introduced to like all the friends. They're all hanging out, and what's it called? She's like, oh, let me go upstairs, and this is where we find out that Gabby is actually the sister of Max. And Gabby's like, hey, do you want to go to the cinema room? And I was like, wow. Rich people, yeah, they do have that. They do have cinema rooms. And she's like, I'm going to watch this art film, and I think you'd like it because the girl I met on the first day of school feels like that kind of girl.
Yeah, yeah.
But if you want to hang out with the cool kids, I can't stop you. And Eleanor is super enamored by her, right?
Right, yeah, and this is like the tug. It's like, oh, I really want to be with you, but my mission is to infiltrate Camp Cool Kid.
Yeah, I have to do this for Revenge Mommy, which Drea calls herself. And so, like, yeah, she goes upstairs. She's like kind of peeking through his stuff. You could tell this guy's super pretentious because he has a photo of himself in I think in the bathroom, and it's like a foggy,
Yeah, it's like a selfie.
Yeah,
but like artsy, but like full size.
yeah. Like, that's too much. But like, yeah, she has to kind of hide because like as she's like going through his iPad, it's shown that he's like kind of talking to like like at this point it's only the Instagram witch.
Yeah.
And so like before she could take a picture of it, she kind of covers it up. She hides because she hears Max and Tara going, and Drea, and they're like making out a little bit, but Tara ends up bringing up Drea's name.
Yeah.
And he's like, you really want to talk about this right now? You want to talk about my ex when we're about to have sex? She's like, well, not anymore. We're going to have sex, you fucking jerk. And so she leaves, and like Max is like kind of just fixing his hair, but then he hears something, and he catches Eleanor in the back of her door.
Right.
And I forgot, what was the excuse that she gave him?
She just was like, this is just like a lot of party, and he's like, oh, I understand. I wanted to get out. If it wasn't my party, I'd be wanting to get away from it too. Let's go outside because we've got like a little secret balcony that the two of us can just have a smoke at.
I was like, Jesus, a secret balcony? That's insane. How many balconies do you have, bro?
And that one overlooks the ocean. So, yeah.
And like, this is how you know he was like, wow, this is like actually a pretty well written scene for a very, almost like a very like sociopathic character, right? Because even I believed it for a second. I was like, is he serious? Is he actually not a bad guy? Because he's like, I fucking, right. I hate all this. I hate, having to keep up appearances. I hate having to be the so-called king of the school, and I really wish I could just, travel Europe with my camera and just blow up my life. And I was like, is he serious? But like, yeah, so like the next day, like, what's it called? Oh, and meanwhile, Drea is at the beach. She gets approached by Ross, who has like a surfboard, and they have like a very, very flirtatious interaction.
Yeah.
Because she's like, oh, that's Carissa's board. And she like waves at Carissa. And she's like, yeah, she hates me. And Ross is like, she doesn't hate you, but she feels like you're not serious about the agriculture club. And he's like, what? What are you talking about? Those root vegetables are my life.
No, they're my children.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry. I think I ate your children. She's like, no, not all of them. She's like, yep, all the carrots. Like, no, those are my favorite. And like one of my favorite lines in this movie, though, is as he walks away, she like notices her keys there. But like after their interaction, she's like, wow, that was really flirtatious. Thank God I'm sitting on a towel. I was like, Jesus Christ. Again, like, like if I had seen this maybe like when I was like in high school, it's like ha 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 ha. But like a lot of these lines is like I wish there were college students saying these lines and not high school. Like
Right, and it's like the school is, even though there's not that many students, the school is so big and so fancy. It feels collegey. So
yeah.
like you kind of keep getting. I kept getting sucked into that. No, they're at college. No, wait, no, still high school.
Yeah, exactly. And so like they meet up the next day. Tara, oh, what's it called? Eleanor's like, oh my god, he's cheating on Tara. And I didn't get screenshots. Like there's like a really funny interaction where she's like, well, she like knocks her phone down, and she's like, oh my god, you're so good. And she's like, yeah, just a minute ago you knocked my phone in the dirt. And she's like, yeah, don't worry about that.
Right, and now I'm happy with you
Yeah.
again. So pick up your phone. Let's go.
Like, did you get screenshots? No, now I'm sad with you. But they finally uncover the secret of the shed, which is where we learn that Carissa is growing psychedelic mushrooms and marijuana.
Yep.
And so she's like, you know what we're gonna do is we're gonna drug our class during the ring ceremony, and then you're gonna steal his phone, and then we're gonna get all the evidence that we're gonna need.
Right, and they'll blame the drugging on Carissa
Yep.
because she's the one making the food out of the stuff in the garden.
So we get to the ring ceremony. They kind of separate each other, like from each other. Like Eleanor is with the cool kids, and then she's kind of just hanging out with Ross and all that stuff. After she poisons like the soup with the psychedelic mushrooms, everybody starts freaking out. Everybody gets drugged, and Eleanor is able to procure Max's phone off of him because she's like, "Oh my god, your phone's filled with spiders," and he tosses it away.
That was great.
And then
There were so
yeah.
many, like that scene, like you got to just watch, like just slow pan through because there's like so much going on.
Yeah.
Like each like little clique of people is acting differently on their mushrooms.
Yeah. That's why you have to have a babysitter.
Yeah, the Instagram witch.
Yeah.
You get the like people in like the little circle, and they're like light as a feather, stiff as a board.
And so like yeah, they're like extracting all the information from his phone, and then like oh, Sarah Michelle Gellar is the headmaster, and she like Drea tips her off that hey, there was drugs in the shed. You might want to check that out. So when was it spring? And well, we've learned that like Carissa gets expelled for drugging the whole class, senior class.
Yeah.
So like she's done revenge for Eleanor. And so now Eleanor is the last one that has to hold up the deal, which like they do after they have like this sweet moment in the bed where they kind of Drea lets her shields down, and like Eleanor is asking her like, "Hey, is this going to make you feel better? Once your like revenge is over?" And she's like, "I don't know, but I need, it's like basically like, I don't know, but I need something to focus on."
Right. Yeah.
And I want to get my lick back. You know what I mean? And like, she cries, and like, she kind of like, she finds comfort into Eleanor's embrace, and she's like, "I like you, Eleanor. You're just like me." And Eleanor's like, "Yep, I am." And so, like, what is it like? We hit spring or something like that, and like, Max is having another fucking presentation or like school assembly situation where he's like, "All right, ladies, we know that Valentine's Day is gonna come up." Oh yeah, well, sorry. From like the information extracted from his phone, we learned that Max has been sleeping with a girl in every clique in high school.
Yeah.
And like,
And it's
yeah.
been not just currently, but it looked like his whole high school career.
Yeah,
Like
his whole high school he's been cheating on Drea. And like, what's kind of like, what's kind of bad is like a lot of these text messages have other girls like pictures, like very revealing pictures and all that stuff, and Drea kind of doesn't think about that when she releases, because like as he's doing like this whole presentation about like the cis hetero club for femininity, We want to, do this like thing for like all the women, all the girls here, blah blah blah. But then all of a sudden, like the tapes get leaked, all the information gets leaked, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, he's been fucking everybody," and all the girls are
Right.
now pissed off. And Drea's like, "This is shocking. Oh my gosh." It's just like I really love that moment too. I'm so shocked right now. But Max's lawyer is like, hey, or Max's PR is like, hey, we're gonna spin it. And,
right. Oh yeah, his buddy JD.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, let's just tell everybody you're like Polly and that you guys had an open relationship.
Yeah, and so now the once like torn down school that's going crazy is like now on Max's side, like, oh my god. They're like all of his friends are just hitting keywords. It's like a keyword soup of like what acceptance is now, and like, oh my god, like he's so open. He's just so like more open minded. His friend, I think his friend's name is Isaiah, or is it JD? But like, he's all
Elliot.
Oh, Elliot. He's like, come on, guys, we're young.
Sorry, JD was the actor.
Oh, he's like, yeah, we're young. We should just be eating ass. We should be eating so much ass. And so they're able to quell this whole meltdown.
And because he's such the hot guy, now all of a sudden all the girls are like, if he's into the open relationship, we still have a chance with him, even if he's dating somebody.
Yeah. I was like, wow. He's like the male Regina George. But Dre gets called into the office and she thinks she's been caught. But no, Sarah Michelle Gellar's character, she's like, I have a eye for talent, eye for like diamonds in the rough, and I thought that's what you were gonna be, but unfortunately, somebody sent the article that your friend wrote about how you assaulted Max to Yale, and so now you don't have that, and so Drea is now in full scorched earth mode.
Right.
She's like, well, I don't have Yale anymore. So all these pretenses that I've been holding up is no longer important.
Right. Yeah.
And at this point, like, Eleanor's like, hey, can we like hang out? Just like not do revenge? Can we just be friends? And, because it's like, tomorrow's my birthday. Like, do you want to hang out or something? And Drea she's just so preoccupied with herself, right? Because like at the beginning of the movie, she tells,
now she's not going to Yale. Like it's new fire has reignited.
Yeah.
So
because like at the beginning of the movie when they're first setting this whole up, Eleanor's like, well, won't they know? And Drea's like, no, narcissists are usually very preoccupied with thinking about themselves. Yeah. And so this is kind of like mirroring that whole thing because like even though Eleanor is trying to be like, hey, can we just do regular shit? Like my birthday's tomorrow, can we hang out? Drea's like, okay, yeah, whatever. But like in the meanwhile, Drea is now hooking up with Ross.
Yeah.
They have a very 10 things I hate about you moment with the paint fight. Right. And they even like, they do it and all that stuff. Ross is like, he's been having a hard time since Carissa got expelled. And, like, we learned that his parents got divorced. And, like, his parents aren't really around much. His dad left him some warehouse. Some $3 million warehouse in the middle of Miami. That he just uses as an art studio. I was like, wow. That is... Oh, man. I wonder what that's like. And like, yeah, and so like the what's it called? Her like Eleanor's birthday comes out. She's hanging out with Gabby, and this is kind of where, she lets a little bit of her guard down. Gabby is like, well, like you're like a whole different person now, but like I think you're still you, but you have all this armor on, and I don't know what you're trying to do. I'm not even gonna ask you about it because that's like your business. But like I really like you, and like Eleanor's like, I like you too, and they make out.
Yeah.
Right? But the whole time, Drea's like, where are you? What's going on? What's happening? And so, like, when they kind of, like, when Eleanor leaves Gabby, she starts to go home, and she thinks there's somebody there. She thinks it's Drea. But no, it's her new friends.
Right.
And Eleanor, like, at this point, she's, like, monologuing. She's like, all the things I thought I hated I just hated because I didn't have it.
Right.
You know, and so like even though this is all like fake, it's nice to have it in the moment. And unfortunately, Drea, who's, you know, at this point sleeping with Ross at the moment, sees the Instagram story and like in the middle of Ross performing cunnilingus. Like it's so funny because she's like, "Oh yeah, oh fuck, I came. You want to go to a party?" Drea crashes Eleanor's party. Everyone's like, "Oh, you know Eleanor?" And she's like, "Yeah, we have a couple classes together." And she's like, "I have to steal her." And Ross is like, "Yeah, he's like super like, I'm dating her now. Back the fuck up, Max."
Right. Yeah.
Because
Very, very protective. Yeah.
I 100% believe Ross could fuck up this kid.
Oh, totally.
But like they argue outside. Drea's like, "What the fuck is going on?" And Eleanor's like, "It's my birthday. Like I thought, you know, like this and that, and you didn't even want to do anything. You don't, you know." And she's like, "Why would I even know when your birthday is? I told you yesterday." And she's like, "Dude, you're being so pathetic right now." And it's like funny because like Drea's trying to speak some truth, right? Because yeah, at the turn of a hat, these people could just not give a fuck about her at any moment, right?
Right.
But Drea is so wrapped up in her own shit that like she like is also not understanding that she's using Eleanor.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Gabby kind of walks in the middle of the conversation, and like it was during the point in the conversation where like Eleanor's like, "Do you even have any evidence that Max is the one who released your shit?" And at that point, Drea feels so betrayed.
Right. She's like, "Oh, you're the one person who believed me, who was like on my side, and now you're
Yeah,
doubting the whole mission."
exactly. And so, like, you know, they say fuck you to each other. And then, like, when Eleanor comes in, Gabby's hanging out there. And she's like, "Why did you lie to her? You know Max released that shit."
Right. Yeah.
And Gabby's like, I guess I'm wrong. I guess this isn't armor anymore. This is just who you are." And, you know, and then Gabby leaves, and Eleanor kind of sinks into herself. But, this really cool scene. So like Drea's trying to like she's like kind of leaning on her teal Mitsubishi Eclipse in her like dude this girl's outfits is crazy in here. Like she's so cool, right?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
especially in this moment, she looks like a JDM girl. Like she could have been in Too Fast Too Furious with Aoki. You know, I was like, wow, you could be just so cool if you didn't have to pretend to be like want to be rich and shit like that. But like this is where like, hey, the guy's like, "Hey, last time you brought your car and it was just your spark plug that was like messed up. So like somebody took that out." And so now she's like, "What the fuck?" And so she goes to visit Carissa, where she runs into Sophie Turner, and Sophie Turner's like, "Yeah, I lost my spot at Stanford, and I actually developed a cocaine problem after." And one of the steps of my program is to like make amends. And she puts her hands around Jerry and she's like, "So I just want to let you know, I hope the fucking worst for you." And then she takes a picture as Jerry walks away. And this is where we like talk to Carissa, and she's like kind of explaining everything. She's like, "Hey, you know Eleanor, right?" And she's like, "Well, yeah, like you could say she's my first girlfriend." Because like when she was first talking about Carissa, she's like, "Oh, you mean the vegan granola lesbo?"
Right. Yeah.
And she's like, "Yeah, but like things got weird, and then we kind of didn't do anything after that." And then like Drea's like, I just don't get it. Like she told me that you spread a rumor about her that she was like this lesbian predator, and Carissa is just like mind blown because she's like, "It's crazy that you didn't call bullshit." And she's like, "Well, what do you mean?" She's like, "Drea, that was you."
Yeah.
And she's like, "What?" She's like, "Yeah, Eleanor is Nora. I mean, like, she changed the name and changed the nose, but that's Nora." She's like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "Remember her, Nosy Nora?"
Nosy Nora?
And you're like, oh fuck. So like Drea's like whole plan is like crumbling around her.
Right, yeah. And she's starting to realize, oh, I was getting her to do my revenge, but in the same bout, she was here to revenge on me, to
Yeah,
do revenge on
on
me.
me. And so when she gets home, Nora's there in like a very single white female outfit. And she's like, "Hey, so I guess you know who I am now." Because like she tries to like rattle Eleanor by calling her Nora, and she's like, "Yeah, but like I actually have Sophie Turner on my Instagram, so I saw that she posted you. So yeah, cat's out of the bag now, I guess." And and like she has her full like little villain monologue about how like you fucked up my life, you made me go into like super depression mode, and like at one point I was just like sulking until I saw that you got into Teen Vogue, and I was like, no, no, she's a fucking bitch. And so like she's like, this is what we're gonna do now. You're gonna go to the admissions party and you're gonna record everything. You're gonna release it, fucking up their whole future, and then the IP is gonna show that it came from your computer.
Right. So then you'll go down with it too.
Yeah. And she's like, I don't want to do it. And she's like, I knew you're gonna be difficult, but I found out how easy it is to plant drugs on people, and your mom. And so like she's like, fuck. You know what I mean? Like she's
Oh,
just a victim of her own doing.
right.
And then before Eleanor leaves, she's like, "Oh hey, by the way, I told Ross that you're the one that fucked up Carissa's shit." And so she starts rushing to, talk to Ross, and she's like, "I don't know what Eleanor told you, but it wasn't just me, like, the whole spiel." And Ross is like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
And
She
before
kind of she could tells on herself.
Yeah.
He's like, what? What are you talking about? Drugs?
Yeah, and then so before she could explain, she gets ran into by Eleanor. Another very single white female thing to do.
Yep.
And so when she wakes up in the hospital, Ross is there, and finally, like they're able to have a conversation, and Ross, to make it up to him, he's like, "I want you to confess."
Right.
And Drea's like, "I can't. Everything I've built up to this is just gonna like my shit's gonna be ruined. Like Carissa can bounce back. She's fucking rich. I can't. And he's like, "Yeah, well, I guess it was never meant to work out." And
Fair enough. I mean, like, it's
yeah, cause like
an honest reaction. Yeah.
but Ross is also like he's suffering from the Gabby syndrome. He's like, woe is me. I hate being so rich. Again, like rich people do have problems as well, especially when you're a teen rich kid who probably has very absent parents. So you kind of it's like
Right.
grass is greener type of situation, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but Ross grew up, as well, as well as he could. Like he's a pretty good guy for even though he's having to be a child of divorce, I believe. But like Eleanor's, oh my God, did he break up with you? Wow. All right. Well, I know that like even though it's geared towards you, I made Revenge Mommy proud. Uh, but like, how do you think you're gonna get back in with the circle? Rich people, they want to make tragedies all about themselves, and so this is your way of getting back into the rich club.
Right. Everybody's going to feel bad for you because you were in a car accident. So they're all
Exactly.
going to want to be your friend again.
Yeah. And so, obviously Andrea's depressed, and Eleanor, when she gets back home, she looks herself in the mirror and she knows this isn't who she is. She like smears her lipstick off of herself and she hates herself.
I, yeah. Like this kind of movie, if you got that, like, that mix, you're like, I love being in with the popular crowd, but
Yeah.
it's not who I am.
Well, it's not even about that. It's like, it's more of like everything I'm doing, I hate but like I'm so consumed with the revenge.
Right, and it's not giving me the satisfaction that I
I thought
dreamed that it would.
exactly. Right? And so like, they gear up for the admissions party. And like, well, Tara and Drea kind of make up. They go back where she's back in the little fucking nook in the bathroom. See, another nook, Like
Yep.
and Tara's like, I'm sorry. Like I wish I could have made better decisions this year. Um, this is our spot, but I figure you probably needed it more than I did this year, so I let you, I don't want to come bother you over here and all that stuff. And they make up. And Tara seems, she's like, she's like, I know you're gonna hate me for saying this, but like you're free. It's a very like
Right.
it's a
Yeah.
weird thing, right?
You. This seems terrible, but you got pushed out of the social circle, and now the politics don't apply to you anymore.
Yeah, exactly. It's such a like a grass is greener thing, right? Because like,
Yeah.
yes, you want to be adored, but the weight of being adored is so heavy.
Right.
And so like, that's why like characters like Ross, they're so free to do whatever the fuck they want. Without
right. Yeah.
having to, perform for people. And so like, yeah, Eleanor gets, Eleanor gets Drea ready and she's like, yep, we're going to do this. And like, and so like, they're hanging out in the party and all that stuff. And then Drea kind of wants to get a little lick back on Eleanor. And she's like, oh, isn't Eleanor so pretty? It's so crazy that like we all didn't recognize her. And they're like, what do you mean? She's like, come on guys, it's Nora.
Yeah.
Remember from day camp when we were 13? And then like she covers her nose and it's just like from the eyes up and they're like, remember Nosy Nora?
Right. Everybody's like, oh my god, I do remember Nosy Nora.
Ooh, let me touch it.
And
Let
even
me touch your
Elliot's like,
nose.
oh, that's the Nosy Nora you guys used to talk about.
Yeah. And like, Eleanor obviously storms out because she fucking like it brings her back to her just being 13.
Right.
And being made fun of again. And then like one of the girls like, oh my god, it's okay, I have fake boobs. It's okay, Nora, we like you. And as they leave, Eleanor is like super upset and Drea follows her and she's like, I'm a bitch.
It kind of clicks with her where it was like, oh, I've got to put you down to make myself seem cooler around my friends. And it's like when Eleanor leaves, she's like, oh, I'm falling back into this
Old
circle.
way.
Yeah.
And like she follows her and she's like, I did it, and as I was doing it, I knew I was like being a fucking bitch. And like I hate that. I hated it because the only times I felt like me this whole year was when I was with you.
Right.
And like, she throws the brooch away that had the camera on it. And she's like, I'm so fucking done trying to hurt you or even trying to pursue all this revenge. I kind of just want to put it behind us. And like, Eleanor's, she's listening to it because she's also tired.
Right. Yeah.
And
because she even had made a point earlier where she was like, I had kind of forgiven you and I was going to stop, but then you showed up at my party and crashed it and tried to embarrass me. So yeah, no, now I remember why I was going to do revenge on you. And
yeah,
it's back on.
Yeah. And like Eleanor at this point is like, finally she feels like, okay, maybe we could just be done. And all of a sudden, douchey slow clap out of the bushes. Max comes out, gets all the info out of Eleanor's phone, which is crazy that she doesn't have a passcode on it for somebody who's tech savvy.
Right, a better passcode.
Yeah.
If there's
like a 3 verification passcode. And he's like, wow. And Drea, I did release the sex tape. Because when I found you in the library chastising a fucking teacher, you were a nobody. And I made you a somebody. And you never thanked me for it. You were never like, oh, Max, thank you for making me matter. You are just somebody who just uses people to get what they want. A fucking sociopath. And you know, I thought when I met somebody that was like me, I'd be elated. But I wasn't.
Right.
So,
Anybody who met their own clone would be like, yes, but you and I, we would both bury that other person alive.
yeah. And so I hope you guys enjoy whatever time you have left to enjoy, because tomorrow I will ruin the both of you.
Yeah.
And he leaves, and Drea's super shaken, but Eleanor bursts out into laughter. And Drea's like, "What are you laughing about?" And she's like, "Second assurance, bitch."
Right. Yeah. You think I was going to trust that you were going to give me the tape?
Yeah. Second assurance. And so, like, while Max is does blow off some girl's belly button, the tape of him releasing the sex tape comes out, and now the whole party and even his own group of friends are like, "Fuck you," and
Yeah.
his life is ruined. And Treya and Eleanor enjoy some champagne on the beach as they run out into the water. And I was like, "Whoa, it's done!" But then, classic '90s. There's scenes after in the credits
Yeah.
because Drea makes up with Ross.
Right.
Yeah.
She goes to the headmistress and of the school and lets her know that she's the one who, you know,
Mm-hmm.
did did the drugging. And
Yeah.
it's like it didn't unexpel Carissa because she still was growing drugs.
But you know what? She ended up having to do more community service or something like that.
Yeah.
And she forgoes Yale to do a year in the Peace Corps because
Right.
that's what Ross wanted to do after
Yep.
high school. And what's it called? Eleanor gets approached by Gabby as Eleanor was waiting for Gabby to walk by, and she's like, I wanted to make it a romantic gesture and apologize, but you weren't coming by, and then I fell asleep. And then they make out. They heavily make out on the
Yeah.
boardwalk of
Yeah.
Miami.
Yeah.
And we get one more cutscene of Max at I presume, a rehab center. And did he make the book? Did he have somebody write a book for him
I think
about,
so.
toxic masculinity?
Yeah.
And I'm just so glad. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this guy looks like he's surrounded by incels. I'm just really glad that I get to better myself around peers that really respect my growth. And the movie ends there. All right, Kobe. Let's get to our other section, high star, low star.
We got a 10 out of 10. Great homage to the 90s teen movies. We loved this. Like Clueless meets Cruel Intentions with some 10 Things I Hate About You and a little She's All That rolled into one. They get backstabbing, sabotaging teenage girl relationships very right. All the crazy outfits were so much fun. The soundtrack was full of great modern music and 90s music. I loved that they included Sarah Michelle Gellar as the headmaster. Sophie Turner had a fun small part. I wasn't familiar with most of the young actors, but I thought they all did a great job. No duds in this cast. I would definitely watch it again, and I'd recommend it as a good time for anyone who has 90s teen nostalgia.
And then we got a half star from Letterbox. I don't think I've ever felt this much hatred for a movie. I cannot even begin to describe how much I genuinely wish it never been made. It's pretentious, excruciating, everyone's the most annoying they can possibly be, and it was complete waste of 2 hours of my life. Do not underestimate how much I genuinely hate this stupid cult classic wannabe of a film. You know, honestly, okay, so, Colby, what did you think about the movie?
Yes, I loved this film. I've seen all those that 90s Mean Girls kind of stuff I've seen so many movies like this, and this just, yes, this nostalgia. I feel like there was so much, like every time or every scene was like reflecting back on some other movie. So many
Yeah.
like throwbacks. Um, but yeah, no, I thought this was great.
Yeah, I mean, because as somebody that grew up on like John Hughes films and all that stuff, it's super reminiscent. You could see like the homages that they've done. I mean, the plot is pretty I did a review on it for Letterbox, and I was like, I kind of compared it of a mixed mash between Clueless and Heathers.
Right. Yep.
Which I mean, Heathers is like the extreme end because it dealt with like murder. So it was murder of like society of people's like reputations.
And they even make that joke that kind of like throws in. He's like, they're like, oh, the only thing left to do is to kill him. And
Yeah.
they're like, are you talking like murder? He's like, no, like murder his reputation.
Yeah. Because like the only kind of points I would actually dock from this film is like the acting was kind of CW-ish, which I mean I get it for Camila Mendes just because she is coming off like doing a long run of CW shows, and even Maya Hawke, like as this movie was going, because I never like looked it up or anything, like the moments where like Drea is talking about like getting revenge and all that stuff, and dropping hints of like how people work and all that stuff. Eleanor would look at her like, yeah, that's right, dance puppet, dance, because even the exposition dump of like why she is how she is. I was like, oh, she's talking about Drea, isn't she? So like that, like those, like kind of like the 2 stars that I had left off on our Letterbox account. I gave it 3 stars, mainly because like one, the acting was kind of like at times. I mean, I'm not expecting a lot, but just a little bit better than like what was given. And then it's also like, yeah, like not being able to hide that Eleanor was playing Drea the whole time. Cause like even you had to, you can't tell me you didn't. It was like, yeah, she's playing her.
I didn't really get it till like it was a little more. I was almost like, oh, they've done it. Like they've got their revenge. Like this movie must be over. And then it was like, oh, there's still like 40 minutes left.
Yeah. Oh man, I was like, yo, you're like, especially when she's like, you're just like me. You're just like me, Eleanor. And she's like, yes, yes, I am. And I was like, oh, come on, man. This is so obvious. Yeah, Kobe lives in a cheese-filled world, He's
I am. Maybe that is like, maybe I intentionally like don't push into a movie because like I hate when I figure out like a twist ending or something too early.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, oh, now I just gotta like I'm just sitting here waiting for it to happen. Like, and I like the surprise. So I think I kind of more surface level some of these movies just so that part hits harder.
Yeah, that's because Colby is like, that's why he looks so young. He's not like a classic overthinker. He's just like, things are the way that it is. And I'm like, I'm a classic overthinker. I'm like, 100 scenarios run through my head all the time. Because I believe, like, okay, so like, it's always like, so when I was younger, my grandma, when we would go to Reno, because then she used to live in San Francisco. Reno was the closest place to like, gamble at the time. She'd always like make me like sit next to her, when you could do that as a kid in a casino. And she's like, yeah, you radiate good luck because you're the dragon, And so like I've kind of carried that throughout my whole life, where it's like, when I go gamble with my friends, I always lose and they win. Like one time me and my best friend were playing roulette. He forgot, like he hit on a number and he forgot to take it off and it hit again. I was like, oh my God. Why not me? You know? And so, like, in my head, it's like Murphy's Law.
Right.
It's like
Yeah.
whatever will go wrong because it's me.
Right.
Like, I will get caught doing all the bad stuff while everybody gets to get away with it. So, like, in my head, it's a curse. Like, and it's bad. And I've, like, obviously, the older I get, the more I've been trying to remedy that. So, like, with movies, I'm like always trying to figure it out. I'm like, what's the angle? Who's playing who? Huh?
See, and I even catch myself sometimes, like I'll get to an end of the movie and I'll be like, I don't really get this ending. Now I have to go back and watch it again, and then like full brain this movie,
Yeah.
so that like, and then it's like, oh, okay, with there, and then this, and then
Yeah.
that, and then oh yes, now I love it.
Yeah.
Or like, or you let it sit. You're like, I'm not really sure what I think about this movie, so I'm gonna go to bed, and
Yeah.
then I will tell you in the morning, like once it marinates.
See, like, I'll ruminate. I'll watch a movie full brain first off. Like, unless, like, like, obviously there's movies like Scary Movie kind of situations where, like, I don't have to think too hard for this movie. It is what it is. But,
Right?
like,
Yeah.
most movies, I'm like, all right, what's the angle? Who's playing? Like, I'm like, and then, like, if it's a thinker, I'll lay in bed. I'll be like, what was it about?
Yes. Yeah.
And it'll haunt me. You know?
Right. And then like if it's 24 hours later and you're like, I am still not sure. Internet, tell me
Oh yeah.
explain this ending to me.
Yeah, like 100%. Like, do you remember the anime? It came out like in the 2000s, Paranoia Agent.
Yeah.
So that one's like classic. Like, what is this even about? And then you're like, and then I learned who the director was. I was like, now I get it, because it's the guy who did Perfect Blue.
Mm.
You
Hmm.
know? And I'm like, oh, and then like not, and then I rewatch it, and I was like, I still kind of don't get it. So I looked it up, and it's like, oh, it's about how like rumors in Japan cause a lot of discord within the communities that it's in. Because like you remember the freaking little clips of it. It's like a kid with a golden bat hitting people and stuff like that, and then people just kept like, oh yeah, it was a golden bat kid that hit me, and it's just like, oh, and it makes you really think about that shit.
Right.
And
Yep.
so I think ever since like that happened for me, I was like, oh, I kind of like that. And so like, but like I have to remember, hey, not every movie is gonna be like that. Oh man, but yeah, we're like a little bit past our hour, so I want to go ahead and thank everybody for joining us. Make sure to check all of our other months below, where we have actor theme months, holiday theme months, and just months with very off the wall subjects, like dancing ninjas or dancing movie months and girl fight club months and all that stuff. But we do our reviews in 4 different sections, where we have it at Stream It, DVD It, Blu-ray It, and the Ultimate Box Collection. Colby, where are you at for this one?
I really enjoyed this. I would probably Blu-ray this. I don't know if you get anything extra. Maybe they give me the soundtrack to it, because I
Soundtrack
did
was great.
actually did like the soundtrack.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I this has definitely got rewatch value. I think my daughter would like dig this. It was yeah.
Yeah. She's like, yep, totally a girl movie. I know, like I remember like after I watched this movie, I watched like another YouTuber kind of just react to the movie, and she's like, I wanted to watch this movie because I heard it's for the girls and the gays.
Yeah, and the outfits. You mentioned that
Oh
the outfits. So that like that was like Clueless.
yeah,
Like just these over the top.
yes. Even like when they're out of their uniforms, it's like, man, who dressed? I'm not around enough rich people to be like, yeah, who dresses like this? Because they might.
They might right.
Exactly. I wouldn't know. But yeah, no, I'm probably around the same boat too. Like, I'm a huge sucker for like just teen movies that are like this. Just because, like, when I was growing up, I was like, oh yeah, this is exactly how it is. And now, like, when I watch it, it's like, wow, I miss kind of the messiness of like, like Sarah Michelle Gellar has a line in there where she's like, you feel the most alive when you're 17,
Mm-hmm.
because your hormones are like at its like peak.
Right.
Testosterone is at its peak. You're just like, yeah, you're like, you feel fucking invincible when you're like, almost an adult. Where like the weight of being an adult hasn't crushed you yet.
100%. Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
there's a ton of like, the world is super open to you. You never thinking, oh, I'm too old to do this. You're like, I can't. I'm not old enough to do it, but I'm gonna do when I am.
Oh,
So
right. Like at my age, there's certain these things where I'm like, well, I would do. That sounds like fun, but I can't start at this age
yeah,
practicing to be, whatever.
which is like it's a bad mindset for us to even have. Like we just do it all.
Right.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Oh man, but yeah, I want to go ahead and thank you guys for joining us. Make sure to check all of our social medias down below.
Got our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Threads, X, TikTok, YouTube. We're on everything. We're trying to be more active on all those things. Pick one, give us a like,
Comment.
comment. Yeah, it's probably the easiest way to make recommendations or to tell us how awesome we are or how terrible we are.
But I want to go ahead and thank you guys for joining us. My name is Barry.
This is Colby.
And this is Who Watches This. If you guys want to check out the theme music, it is Lee Rosevere. It's called Arcade Montage. It's on our album Music Podcast 3, and the Bandcamp is down below.
Thank you.